Hey guys, welcome back to the desk corner. As you can see, the desk corner is a little bit new and improved right now. More on that in a future video. I'm going to do a channel update soon. But today's video, bear with me, some of the footage is from last week, some of it's from this week. And I'm finishing up my mountain lion drawing from my previous video, which you guys should check out if you're interested in, if you haven't seen it yet. And then after I finish that, I'm going to actually redo my Polychromos color chart, which I've shown you guys before, but it's not the best. This is it, guys. It's just on an old piece of printer paper. It's super old, super kind of messy. I've had this for years, and the swatches are really small, and it's just a printed out paper, and it just doesn't look great, so I'm redoing this in today's video. I hope that you guys enjoy it. Today's video is just a mix-up, a mash of some different things, but if you like Polychromos pencils or if you want to see me draw my mountain lion, then just keep on watching. I'll probably actually timestamp when I start swatching the pencils if you're just here for that. So I'll leave a timestamp for that as well, because I know this video is a little bit all over the place. That being said, I hope that you guys enjoy it, and let's jump straight into the video. So here we are with the mountain lion, guys. I'm going to admit it, I'm getting a little bit tired of this drawing, and that's why I don't like to do backgrounds very often, because it makes me get tired of a drawing very quickly and not want to finish it. Well, what the heck, maybe I could do something with this white. Alright you guys, I'm just gonna get started and speed up some clips so that I can show you what I'm doing here, and let's work on this mountain lion. Guys, let's chat about Polychromos for a second, because I love using Polychromos, but they're very different from a lot of other colored pencils. And one thing that, I don't know if you guys experience this too when you're using Polychromos, or if this ever bothers you, but it does take a really long time to build up layers. Even with my underlayer that I did with the DERWENTs, I mean, yes, it was a light underlayer, I didn't do multiple layers for the underlayer, but even so, I've done a lot of layers of Polychromos on top, and of course less than if I had just started without the underlayer and the solvent that I did. I personally like the effect of layering with Polychromos because it takes so long and you can really add so much depth because of the amount of colors that you can add on top of each other. And I guess it depends on the paper too, but with Polychromos, they just start out very light when you first add the pigment, and it just takes a lot to build. Maybe this is also due to the nature of the pencil. The core is hard, so you're not able to cover areas very quickly the way you are with some other pencils that are more, I guess, waxy perhaps, like a wax-based or other oil-based pencils that are a little bit softer. I mean, this has its advantages and disadvantages, and I always choose my Polychromos over any other pencil to work on detail areas like the eyes and nose and the mouth and all of that. Definitely I would reach for my Polychromos at that point, but I don't know, what do you guys think? Do you like this aspect of Polychromos? Do you feel the same way that I do? Here is where we're at so far with the lion. I worked on this area for a while, and I kind of just have to render this area right here, and I'd have to say that the rest of the lion is pretty much finished. Maybe I'll add in a few details here and there. Keep in mind, you guys, I am not somebody who draws animals that have fur, and this is something that's kind of new for me, so it's actually been a little bit frustrating to work with all of this fur that I don't really know how to make look realistic in a way. That being said though, I do overall like how this is turning out. As I mentioned a while ago when I was still working on the background, I wanted to make sure the line popped out against the background, and for the most part I think that it does. I think it's safe to call this one done now. With pieces like this, I could keep working on them forever, but for now I think I'm just going to call this one done and stop working on it, and maybe I'll come back to it if I want to add some more details, but I am pretty happy with how this one looks right now. It is not one of my favorite pieces that I've done, but then again, it being more of an experimental piece, that's to be expected. Now let me talk a little bit about a couple things that I do like about this piece. One being how the background turned out. Really love that. I'm really digging that because I put a lot of effort into that, and to get it nice and blurry like that, that was the result I was going for. Okay, so another thing I did like was the effect of the whiskers using this tool, which if I wasn't using solvent, obviously it would have showed through much better. But that aside, even using multiple layers of solvent, this still worked. So I was still able to kind of bring it out a little bit with my white pencil and sometimes an eraser. They're not quite as bright white as I'd like them to be, but it still worked. I also like how the face turned out. I knew that I would be okay with this general area because I have more trouble with fur detail than anything, but I'm curious to know your guys' opinions on this piece. What do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you like mountain lions? Do you like big cats? Should I do more big cats in the future to practice my fur techniques and all of that? Let me know, because I do want to practice things that I'm not entirely sure how to do or entirely good at or well versed in. From time to time, of course, not all the time, but from time to time, because it really does help to improve skills that I'm not using very much. But enough blabbing about this. I definitely want to hear your guys' opinion on this, and I'm fairly happy with it. I do like how this turned out, and it was fun for me to do. I'm going to move on to this now, and we're going to do that color chart, which I'm excited to do. I've got to pull out all my polychromos for this, and yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay guys, I just wrote out all 120 color names here in pencil because I want to maybe go over that in pen or fine liner, I mean, later. But this is just like a map for me because there are 120 colors. That's a lot of colors to swatch out. And I have a feeling this is going to take me a while because my pencils are not in order whatsoever. My polychromos are sitting in here just all out of order. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do this and I'm going to voice over it later because it's just going to be really boring for you to watch me look for every color and all that. I'll be able to talk about it more after if I just voice over it and watch what I'm doing. Because right now it's going to be very slow. It's going to need to be sped up a bit, okay? So let's go ahead and start. So I skipped over the white pencil. I didn't think there was a point in me including that one in the chart, and we go straight into the yellows. Now the Polychromos being a 120 color set, I have to admit it's hard to tell the difference between some of these colors. These shades of orange, yellow, and red are extremely similar, and sometimes it takes me a while to figure out which color I even want to use because I can't choose between two different reds, for example, which, you know, that's a struggle when you have a lot of colors. Guys, can we talk for a second about this printing difference now in the Polychromos pencils, which I noticed upon buying some replacement pencils and some new pencils and finishing my collection here, because I didn't buy a 120 set or anything like that. I kind of started with a smaller set and built up from there. This is the text, how the text kind of looks for the, there you go, you could see that. That's how the text looks for the Polychromos, or that's how it used to look. And now, upon buying new pencils, they kind of like rebranded it a little bit. The color name used to be in the same font, it looks like, as the Faber Castell logo. And now the color name is in a different font. You guys can't even see what I'm doing because I keep moving it around. It used to have the German name in front of it as well. but now it just has, I guess maybe it depends where you order it from. So now ordering it to the US, I just get the color name in English and it's a different text. So I thought that was interesting. All right, let's get back to it. Now as we get to more of the pinks, purple, magentas, some of these colors are the ones in the set that are not quite as light fast as the other colors, which happens often with these types of pigments, but check out my Polychromos review video. It's fairly short. I'll link it somewhere in case you're interested in hearing more about light fastness and things like that. This video is just kind of fun and me redoing my color chart. It is sped up a bunch because it is 120 colors and I'm not really sure how many of you would be interested in sitting through. Oh, I will explain why that one slot for violet at the top isn't filled in, because I couldn't find that pencil, and that happened to me a couple times where I couldn't find a pencil. Same with cobalt blue greenish. I did find that one eventually. That's just what happens when your pencils are extremely disorganized like mine are. I'm just gonna sneak in here and mention how my favorite palette from this set is the neutrals, and typically that's what I like to see in a set because those are the colors I use most often. So those earthy, natural tones, the greens, I love the greens in this set, and the brownish reds, Naples yellow, all of that. I just absolutely love it. I think we could use some more skin tones here. We don't have a huge variety of skin tones, except darker skin tones. There are quite a lot of variety of browns, but I still think we could do better as far as the skin tones go. And there are plenty of grays, maybe a little bit too many. I use Payne's gray the most often just because it has that nice bluish tint and it's so very dark. But I'll leave you guys to the music again. Alright you guys, that is a wrap on this. So I actually have spent a long time, as I predicted, making this color chart because my pencils were all out of order, and as I made the color chart I put them back in order mostly. Some of them might have flipped a little bit, but for the most part, let me move the camera and you can see, look how beautiful they are. So they're gonna go back in my pencil case like this, and that way I'm not expecting to keep them in exact order, but I want to keep them in groups so that it's easier to find colors because they've been out of order for a long time. I want to show you guys the finished chart, so I'm just gonna have to move these pencils very carefully. Okay, so I still need to use fine liner. But that's gonna take me a while and it's not gonna be very interesting for you guys to watch anyways. So I think I'm gonna leave it off here, and now I have a much better chart. Let's compare. So obviously it's still zoomed out a lot and it's not the biggest, like the swatches are not the biggest, but compared to the old swatch chart I have, they are a bit bigger, and the old swatch chart is great at comparison, like you can see the gradual change, so I'm going to keep the old swatch chart too. But the purpose of this new swatch chart is it really shows how the color looks down on a professional art-based paper, or at least any artist paper, not just a flimsy printer paper. And also I get a bigger swatch so I can see more, even though it's not like the most beautiful swatch chart ever. I can see more of a gradation, I could see more of the pigment, and it's just a little bit better and easier for me. My Caran d'Ache chart is the same, just bigger because they have less colors, so I could make it bigger. But see, I just like to have matching charts like this. I think I'm going to do my charts like this from now on so they all match. And you could see that in fine liner it's a bit easier and bolder to see, so that's what I'm going to do now. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. It was a little all over the place, But I enjoyed making it, and I kind of want to make some more videos about specific pencils, so Prismacolor, Polychromos, and things like that if you guys want to hear my thoughts on those different pencil brands, because then even the Luminance as well, and those are the 3 pencil brands, the main sets that I have. It was just fun chatting with you guys about pencils, so if you want me to make more colored pencil related videos where I'm kind of just talking about pencils, then let me know in the comments down below and I will definitely do that. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, even though it was, as I said, all over the place, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!